Now, this is an interesting little piece here. This from the American Spectator. Arnold Allert. Arnold Allert, A-H-L-E-R-T, used to write for the New York Post. Do you all remember when we first heard of the assault on the facility in San Bernardino? There were 3 shooters. Yeah, I remember that too. And Arnold Allert's piece here, headline, Odd Man Out, what happened to the 3rd shooter? But his whole piece is premised on this whole thing stinks. The story we're getting about all of this still doesn't add up to him. The American Spectator, Arnold Allert, he starts it this way. He said, this is one American who does not have high expectations for our mainstream media. Yet, is it too much to expect a moderate level of curiosity about a critical part of a major story, even if it's not in line with the progressive agenda? Apparently so, as 2 nagging questions about the terror attack in San Bernardino remain unanswered. Worse, they remain unasked. First, whatever happened to that 3rd shooter? Using several search parameters, one can find a substantial number of media reports on the day of the shooting indicating the police were searching for 3 suspects. In addition, Saleh Abdelmajid, an employee at Inland Medical Center where the attack occurred, insisted in an interview with CBS News there were 3 shooters. She stated, I heard shots fired, and it was from, an automatic weapon, very unusual. Why would we hear shots? As we looked out the window, a second set of shots goes off. We saw a man fall to the floor. Then we just looked, and we saw 3 men dressed in all black military attire with vests on. They were holding assault rifles. As soon as they opened up the doors to the building, 3, one of them, started to shoot into the room. And I do remember the first reports, there were 3 shooters, and they were all decked out in camouflage gear, all black. It was a professional hit. In fact, the original stories on this were how unlike terrorism this attack appeared. The 3 were professionally attired. They had vests on me. They didn't want to die. They came in, they shot the place up, and then they got out. And they escaped. And for a short period of time after the event, nobody knew where they were. And so the original stories were this could not have been terrorism. This could not have been Islamic extremism because they claim victory. They die for the 72 virgins. They martyred themselves. They die in the event. These people didn't want to die. They didn't want to get caught. They just ran around. They got away. Very professional. That was the first substance report of this, or substantive report, that I remember getting, including with the 3rd shooter. Now, in describing the assailants, Abdelmajid admitted that she couldn't see a face. He had a black hat on, black cargo pants, the kind with the big puffy pockets on the side, long-sleeve shirt, gloves, huge assault rifle, 6 magazines. I saw 3 dressed exactly the same. The CBS reporter interviewing Abdelmajid said again, "You're certain you saw 3 men?" "Yes," she insisted. "It looked like their skin color was white. They looked like they were athletic build, and they appeared to be tall." A second witness, Juan Fernandez, corroborated Abdelmajid's account, telling reporters he also saw 3 white men in military fatigues who took off in a black Impala or SUV. Moreover, after the police killed Tashfeen Malik and Saeed Rizwan Farouk, climate change, in a shootout, the media was still reporting the house-to-house search for the 3rd suspect being conducted by police. But since then, nothing. Certainly, eyewitness accounts are notoriously unreliable, but isn't that precisely the reason one might expect the media to clarify the discrepancies between their original reporting and the current status quo? As bad as that lack of closure is, the second question is far more troublesome. Why did the FBI abandon their investigation of the townhouse rented by the terrorists and allow media access to it only 2 days after the shooting and leave shredded documents behind? You know, this is a question. When I saw the media being led in this place, it happened while the program was on. I saw it up there on one of the monitors. And I said, what is this? We were told a landlord let them in, and the FBI had cleared the scene. After 2 days, you clear a crime scene? And we're still hearing reports that the mother was deeply involved, and the mother had all kinds of terrorist stuff they're finding in her house or wherever room where she was living or whatever. I mean, the evidence is now being piled on. This was a deeply involved family in terrorism. It could not have been spontaneous workplace violence. This was totally premeditated. And it was well thought out, and there were all kinds of Muslim assistants in the community helping the San Bernardino too. And against all this, we find out the FBI cleared their house in 2 days, and the media goes trampling through there and destroying all the evidence that was left inside. Former NYPD Detective Harry Houck illuminates the insanity. He said, this apartment clearly is full of evidence. I don't see any fingerprint dust on the walls where they went in there and checked for fingerprints for other people that might have been connected to these two. You got documents laying all over the place. You got shredded documents that need to be taken out of there and put together to see what was shredded. You have passports, driver's licenses. Now you have thousands of fingerprints all over inside this crime scene. It doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't. I never understood that. Why they cleared this so fast and the media, you let the media, it's a herd of cows you're letting in there and trample whatever they run across. They don't care about preserving anything. It's first come, first serve. Get to whatever they can before anybody else does. I get a picture of it. Anyway, I have to take a break. Up against it on time. Back here in a second. No.